Hey everyone, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I already recorded this video once and completely fucked it up, which was really frustrating. But anyway, we're going to do a bit of a breakdown of what we learnt at ExileCon for the Conquerors of the Atlas expansion. That's coming out in the next 3.9 patch. But first, let's crank up the video and have a look at what we're looking at, and then we'll go from there. So without any further ado, if you haven't watched the trailer already, it's here. But we'll do a bit of an analysis after we watch the trailer. So here we go.
Listen carefully, for this is important. I worked with a group of exiles once, much like yourselves. Together, we faced a terrible evil that plagued the Atlas and threatened our world. Through great perseverance, we were able to defeat the Elder. But it wasn't enough. They kept going back. Over and over, again and again. There was something inside them that could never be satisfied. They sought more power, more prestige. They sought to rule and conquer those strange lands. Each time they returned, I feared more and more what they were becoming. So I did what I thought was right. I sealed them in the Atlas. Forever. They found a way back.
So it's some pretty cool stuff. We'll just pause it there. It's some pretty cool stuff. So basically the story or the breakdown there is we have become the new bad guy. The player is the asshole in this situation. And Zana has decided to lock our dumbasses inside the Atlas map because we are just farming way too much shit and killing too much shit, even after killing the Elder and the Shaper and everything else. And then basically we were like, no, we're not fucking having that. And we've clawed our way back out of the Atlas to cause a ruckus. Really cool concept. I like it a lot. So I guess let's do a bit of a breakdown of what we should expect. So obviously the first thing being, I think I saw it in here somewhere. Let's just find... So here's the breakdown. So the new endgame story. So they're basically changing the endgame now. As far as that, that'll be the Elder and Shaper fights. They're no longer going to be a standard part of the game any longer. From what we learnt from ExileCon and from the, I guess, the keynote deep dive presentation and everything else, what we actually picked up on is those in particular instances are going to be contained within the Zana maps. Or the Zana missions. Now, one thing that Chris Wilson actually said at the convention was that that's probably unrealistic to do that solely in the Zana missions, as it'd probably be quite unbalanced and very, very hard to get those missions, depending on, I guess, the drop rates of whatever they gear things to. So there might be other mechanics that will allow you to get into them, but that's something that they're going to look at in the next couple of weeks. That being said, that what that really means is things like Watcher's Eyes, Shaper's Touch, all Void Forges, everything else is going to become a very, very rare item. Now, I actually believe that that's not a bad thing. Those items are quite good items. which means it's going to change how we play builds. And obviously, because Elder maps are not going to be as prevalent, or Shaper maps, we're not going to have Elder or Shaped gear. Now, I think they showed something else just about here. Where is it? We'll just scroll through. Yeah. 4 new item types and influence types. So obviously, because Shaped and Elder items are going to be incredibly rare, there's going to be 4 new types of items. They're probably going to roll different stats based on the new Conquerors, 4 Conquerors bosses that are going to be in the endgame, which would be quite cool. Which gets us to the map itself. I'm just looking at the map. Basically, we're going to start from the inside of the map now because we've broken our way out of the map. And we're going to be working our way through to the outside of the map, which is completely different. With these little gem socket things, and we'll just wind it back. See this here? This is the new map gem socket. So basically, we can essentially craft our maps up to a point where they can get to T16. The other thing that Chris said was that the unique maps will actually be able to be upgraded in levels. So your Ober's Cursed Trove, for example, here, or was it Pillars of Arun, or whatever it is here, or the Omnitex, whatever it is here, you can scale them to T16, which probably means the drop rates are going to scale to T16 as well, which is going to be insane. So they're going to have to figure out what they're going to be doing here as well, or if they've already figured it out, it's just going to be nuts. So mapping is going to be new. The approach to mapping is going to be very different to what it has been in the past. That's going to be really cool. That's going to be something different for us to work out, and it's definitely going to be easier to level up. But it's also going to be harder because we're looking at additional power creep with the new item, with the new affinities that we can, or I guess influences that we can apply to items as well. And obviously with the League mechanic, that could result in further power creep. So to deal with that, they're basically making the base game harder. Now, the other thing they were saying is they were probably potentially looking at increasing things like HP values on bosses and whatnot. So obviously we know the longer a fight draws out, the higher the probability of you losing that fight as a general rule, because when you flash drop, you start to feel the burn. You start to feel the pressure of a crazy ass boss fight in this game. Then it's very easy to make stupid mistakes and get rolled, and if they have more health, then fights will go for longer, so glass cannon builds will struggle, and tank builds, it will just take crazy amounts of time to take bosses down and whatnot. So that'll be interesting to see what they do with that mechanic. Now, the other thing that they're adding to the game, and we'll just try and find it. So obviously there'll be new gems coming into the game. But they're also adding these new plus gems. So it's basically saying a max level of 5 on this one. I think they said they may level up to as far as 10 levels. But essentially the plus gems are from level 20 upwards. So these gems will drop in the Conqueror boss maps as ultra rare drops. They are not going to be standard drops. They're basically, their words at ExileCon were they're bringing value back to gem crafting, or gems, which is going to be really interesting to see how that works. These are going to be quite rare, so I wouldn't expect to get an abundance of these, but we'll see what they do in the in-game mechanics to make this work. And I think the other thing that they had here, don't know if they show it. No, they don't show it. There will be 4 new, basically 4 new types of exalted orbs as well. And probably some other League-specific currencies. They said that the current stash tabs will be upgraded to handle this currency, and that currency will also be upgraded and applied in the base game as well. So basically, GGG advised us that they're not going to come up with a new way to bill us for more specific stash tabs. They're just going to figure out how to retrofit the existing stash tabs. So that's quite good. Outside of that, there's, as I said, new skill gems, bows. There's a Season of the Archer, so there'll be some interesting shit with that. There's some graphical upgrades coming to Lion Eye's watch. There's probably some overall graphical upgrades coming. Now, I might do a video on the 2.0 because I've played the 2.0 demo and it was fantastic. And I'm just going to put it out here. It shits on Diablo 4. especially after the MTX announcement that Diablo 4 came out with yesterday. Diablo 4 has not got a stick against PoE 2, but I can do an analysis of that. So if you want to see an analysis of that, then, you know, hit like and subscribe and whatever else, and I'll put it up. Yeah, that's pretty much the base stuff. Oh, and obviously we inevitably know that they're going to do MTX specific supporter packs for these Conquerors bosses too. So probably expect the old MTX supporters packs to get taken down, and they're probably going to release a new series, you know, where you upgrade to the next level and like the Vanguard pack and all that shit. I'll probably end up buying a couple of those just because they're probably going to be really cool. There's like a Paladin or a Crusader one or something. Or anyway, that's pretty much the analysis of the new 3.8 Conquerors of the Atlas endgame content. Yeah, like and sub if you thought this was helpful, if this gave you information, if this broke down basically what's going on. This will probably save you some time going through the longer videos that are on Twitch and from the conference itself. But yeah, anyway, until the next video, all right.